Stupid Garbage Podcast.
Oh, I like that. And we're off.
Off to the races. How are you today, darling?
I'm good. This whole house smells like cheese. Everywhere I go smells like cheese.
That's weird.
Robert made pesto today.
I did make pesto.
And he gave me some. So, like, downstairs where I was eating, it smells really strongly of pesto. I guess it's also where you cooked it. And then I came up here to the living room where you're eating, so now everything just smells like cheese.
Hand chopped. All
Yeah.
basil.
He did a really good job. It tasted delicious.
Did a great job.
It was
If you
really-
have a food processor, though, just use the food processor. There's no difference.
It was really wet, which is my favorite
Thanks.
thing about food.
Yeah, it was just a little bit of urine. Secret ingredient.
You know how I like that.
Yeah. So what are you bringing to the pod today?
Nothing.
What a surprise.
So today,
I know for a fact the only thing you did today was play Sims for 14 hours.
I did do that.
So, go ahead. Tell them about your Sims. What were you... excuse me.
Oh my god.
I'm making assumptions. What were you about to start talking about?
Well, I was gonna say, like, I actually did. You told me that you wanted a pod in 10 minutes. And I was like, okay, I should probably use... Oh, is that water?
Yeah.
Give me.
No, you don't like this.
I don't like water.
No, you don't. As a matter of
I'm
fact,
thirsty.
you constantly tell me you hate the taste of water.
I do. Especially
When I
it's the
asked
worst kind
you
of water.
60 seconds ago what you were going to talk about,
Okay.
what were you going to bring up?
I would love a sip of water. My throat is a little parched, and I need to talk for the next 45 minutes.
Yeah, we'll circle back to that.
So I did a little bit of research for that 10 minutes, and I was, like, Googling, like, good podcast topics.
Right before this, if I may, you were going to start talking, and then I said, what's up with The Sims? And I think now you're trying to not talk about The Sims.
Oh, no,
What
I
were
don't
you
mind
gonna-
talking about The Sims.
What were you going to say
I'm
before I
fed
cut
up. Yesterday I noticed that my eye had, like, some of the veins in it were, I guess, inflamed or something, and my eye was pretty red, and my eyes hurt today, so I feel like I'm just doing a number on my body, but can you see, are they inflamed?
They look fine.
Shocking. So anyway, I had this whole scheme for my Sims where I wanted to, like, breed dogs, as I told you, and like, you can only have a total of, like, 8 Sims or some shit, and I don't know, it just adds up so fast. And I wanted to make them vampires, and I forgot how fucking inconvenient making a Sim a vampire is. Like, if they go out in the sun, all of their needs are immediately, like, as low down as possible.
Not very familiar with vampires then.
Eh?
Yeah.
Well,
Sounds like it.
they die in...
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
Jess.
But
Yes.
listen.
What?
Listen. Like, I do not tell the Sims to go outside. She's a dumb idiot. And she goes, let me get the newspaper. I didn't tell her to do that. She just goes. I'm like, are you stupid? I bought you a coffin, and you clearly are a vampire. Don't go outside in the daytime. Fuck. So, anyway, that became, like, a whole thing. And then I kept running out of, like, space. And then everyone just kept on cheating on everyone in front of them.
I'd like to again...
I just don't have the tact to play a game.
Right. Well, it's not really tact. I'd like to submit for consideration that you're terrible at this game.
Well, like, I don't know if, like, instead of killing people, I've just resorted to, like, having them cheat in front of each other, and then that person just hates them, and it's fine. And then I just have them move out.
Why?
So, what?
Why?
Well, because most of the people I want to kill are children, and I feel like social services will come.
How...
Like, if, you know the way I'm doing a whole eugenics thing, and I'm trying
I'm
to
sorry.
breed the best, most beautiful children?
Let me stop you here, and before this goes any further down this patently insane rabbit hole, let me just turn back the clock and rewind it about
Sure.
60 seconds. You said most of the people you want to kill are children.
Yeah.
Immediately before that, you said instead of killing the people I want to kill, I just have them cheat on each other.
Oh, no.
How do
Okay.
children...
Okay, that's true. Well, no, like, you know the way I'm having them all have babies with people or whatever? Like, instead of, like, I have them fall in love, and then I have them just, like, fuck someone else in front of them, and then they're like, what? And they get mad. The children, I just have go off to college. I just age them really fast, and then I send them to college, and they move out of the house.
How do you age them fast? What does that mean? How's that
There's
possible?
a cheat where you click on your sim, and you can choose what age it is.
Okay, so you're freelancing this game.
Well,
With-
to be fair,
with- listen. No, you listen.
No.
You listen. Be quiet. Be quiet.
I only use
no,
that.
I don't want to hear it. You're freelancing this game with cheats.
Yeah.
You know, unlimited money. You're turning people into vampires. You're aging people at 50 times the
didn't
speed
cheat.
like it's click.
I didn't cheat for the vampire.
Be quiet.
But I'm
And you're still playing this game almost ass backwards.
No.
You're still somehow losing a game that you can't lose at.
No, listen. I became a vampire by getting close to a vampire and then influencing them to bite one of my Sims. Additionally, I didn't have the kids' age until, like, it was staggered because I had 3 ladies in the house and, like, they couldn't all get pregnant at once. So, like, there was, like, a 3 or 4 day difference and I didn't want to wait the 3 or 4 days. And I was like, fuck this. So, I just aged, like, 3 to 5 children out of the 8.
That's the majority.
Yeah, but once you're a kid for like 8 sim days, which is like a long time,
and
you're only a baby and a toddler for like 3 sim days, so it didn't add up, and it like.
Okay, this is just you using different phrasing and terminology to once again explain the fact that you're cheating at this game, and still doing a bad job. You're saying the same thing. You're just
also, like,
explaining it more.
As you said, the whole point of the game is that you're supposed to play it correctly. Like, if I just make all of our needs met the whole time, it isn't really fun.
Jessica, I'm going to level with you,
what?
And I think this is something that you really need to hear at this point. The whole point of this game, as well as Zoo Tycoon and Wildlife Park, is to waste time and to hold the attention of children. That's the point of these games.
It's doing a good job. The hours are just melting away.
That concerns me.
I don't think I even, like, looked up.
Jessica, the sands of time are slipping through the hourglass of your life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Again, I try to do adult work. They didn't have any work for me.
So what else did you do today?
I literally... Well, my lizard came out for like 30... So my lizard has been hiding. I don't know why, because they brumate, which is basically like hibernation in the fall and winter. But it's spring now, and I don't know if the skink knows that. But he's been sleeping for like a couple weeks-ish on and off, and I'm pretty upset about it.
It's also not true, but
well, I don't know. Like, I remember last time we played D&D with our friends, I was saying, oh god, I hope he cooperates, and the only reason he was so active was because he hadn't...
Jessica, you have yet to find out a regular schedule for his day-to-day routine.
It's true, I cannot predict
He does the same thing 2 days in a row, and then on the 3rd day, he doesn't do that thing, you think there's something wrong.
Yeah. It was, I mean, he was very skittish today, and that worries me. Like, even when he was in his cage, if I would walk up to his cage, he'd kind of, like, run away from me, which he doesn't usually do, so I'm worried about Peaches. He also ate, like, 8 servings of his food, so I think it's possible.
Because you've been neglecting him in favor of your virtual animals.
I have not been neglecting him. He hasn't left his cage, or he hasn't left his hide, and when reptiles hide, you're not supposed to bother them. Like, I'm not supposed to, like, take him out of his hiding spot and force him to socialize.
You can give him food.
I could have given him food, that's true. But I mean, if he's sleeping, I'm assuming he's not going to eat.
You would think playing all the Zoo Tycoon, you would have learned something about basic animal care.
I changed his water.
I guess it's not husbandry if it's not cattle, but Jesus, I mean...
I was changing his water, like, every other day instead of every single day, but...
That's good.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah. Well, if he's not moving, there's no dust getting in it, so I don't really worry about it, and it's not like it's sitting there for weeks and getting moldy or whatever.
Why were you changing it every day? Because that's what you're supposed to do, says the vet and everyone who's ever owned a reptile?
Well, no, that's not the case. A lot of reptile people don't say every single day is necessary. They say, like, every other day. Some people change more or less frequently. Also, the fact that you can just, like, go on vacation and leave your pet without any sort of care shows me that it's not that dire. Also, a lot of skinks eat once a week anyway.
So, besides the lizard and Sims... You said you spent 10 minutes before this podcast started.
So I researched a bunch of... One other thing is we went and collected flowers yesterday that I wanted to press and make beautiful and hang and whatever. And I just played The Sims, and then today I had to look at the horror that was the disgusting soggy flowers, and it was so sad.
A good real-life example of the time you wasted. It's like a montage in a movie of days of the calendar falling off.
I'd agree.
Flowers die. The leaves fall off the trees. You're living it, Jess.
Jess falls off reality.
Yeah, falls off the grid and the face of human society.
Yep.
Which is already teetering to begin with.
Yep. So I looked up a couple of podcast topics.
Okay, and what did you come up with?
Okay, I mean, well, I looked up fun topics for podcasts, and I had a hard time finding, like, specific, like for an individual podcast. Everything that I found was, like, here's what to do a podcast about. Like, starting a new hobby, podcast about that hobby or whatever, and
So-
they meant more like a
I know. I get it.
topic
Yeah,
than
for
a...
our podcast. What do you... A topic
But
of
I mean a
conversation.
conversation topic, exactly.
So why didn't you Google it?
So I'm pretty pissed off. I didn't know the word.
Conversation?
Yeah,
Okay.
it didn't occur to me. Also, I don't
You're
think
not.
it
You're
would
not too good
have...
with the book words, huh?
No, I don't think that would have really had results either. I should just again look up like just general people conversation topics, but I did find a couple of cool things that I was thinking we could add as segments, or like the ideas weren't so bad.
What do you got?
Well, I wrote them down right as you were coming up here, so thanks for not putting me on blast.
I didn't notice.
Perfect. So basically, there was one and it was cute.
I'm pretty checked out. Gonna level with you.
Oh.
Past
I can only imagine how checked out they are.
2 years. Who?
Oh, the readers.
Oh, they're so checked out. They're not reading anymore.
Yeah.
They're off doing something else.
So
Starting a better podcast.
a couple of them were like, do like a social media corner where you reply to comments you're getting and then like
Sure.
take requests from your fans of what you should talk about. And I'm
Just
like,
blanket response.
that's-
Screw all you people. We don't need you. We're going straight to the top without you.
if we had a following, it would be pretty fun to do something like that. But you know,
Yeah. Or even just a few disciples, like a Jesus type circle of
there was
maybe
a
a dozen.
quote that I'm obsessed with that of course I will not be able to quote verbatim, but it was
I think I know it, just based on the context of what we're
stop.
I think I know what quote you're about to.
I don't think you
Okay.
do because it's really obscure.
That makes me even more.
What is it?
It's a Ronald Reagan quote. He
No.
said, "Oh,
But I'd like to hear it.
nipple." Presumably, at some point in his life, he said the word nipple. Is that not what you're thinking of?
No.
Was I close? How warm?
What? No.
Scale of 1 to 12.
0. What?
0?
Nipple?
Jessica, it's a scale of 1 to 12. 0's not on the scale.
1?
That's not okay. Thank you. Rude, but thank you.
Christ.
1 would be like someone speaking backwards in Chinese. What's the? Well, you
Can I
tell
borrow
me the
your phone
quote.
to look up the quote?
No,
Okay.
you tell me the quote. I'll be the judge. Is it a Winnie the Pooh quote?
It's a Hank Moody from California
Oh,
quote. Basically.
That's at least a 4. Go ahead.
Thank you.
No, man.
Oh, Winnie the
I'm
Pooh.
saying, what?
What's
No.
happening? You're.
Oh my
reading-
God! How close I got.
No nipple.
What's the quote?
He was just saying like I don't know.
nipple?
I want to look it up. I'm not gonna do it.
He doesn't have a nipple?
justice.
Just go ahead anyway.
Where
Just,
are we
come
going
on.
with nipples? We weren't even talking about nipples.
For
I'm
the
so
love of God, please.
confused.
Christ, just say something.
He was saying like I don't have a lot of people, but the ones that are very loyal, and it was something like that. It was really funny, and I liked it.
Okay.
But
I get the gist
again,
of it.
if you could just look it up,
If
that'd be
I
great,
may.
so I don't,
You think
botch
that
it.
the quote was, I don't have a lot of people, but the ones that are good.
I don't have a lot of loyal people, but the ones that are good.
Got it.
Or the ones that are loyal. I don't know the quote. Can you please look it up?
I think whatever I try and look up is just gonna come up Ronald Reagan. Don't do this.
I'm realizing I can just do it, right?
Oh, I hope not, because if this pauses the podcast, I'm not gonna keep recording.
Who knows?
I'm gonna be done.
Keep
So-
talking while I look it up.
I mean, so Hank Moody, played by David Duchovny, white male actor in California, with Ronald Reagan, just Ronald Reagan alone, I at least get to like a 3 or 4, as I said. And then both pretty short quotes. Yours is about loyalty, mine's about the nipple, which is very close to the human heart. I'd give myself like a strong 4, maybe a weak 5. Like a 4.5.
You know,
It's not coming
I
up.
thought I was gonna find this immediately.
You made it up. Type Ronald Reagan nipple. See if that comes up. Were you so off base that you're not even coming up with anything?
I don't know what the quote was. Oh my god.
Okay, it sounds like you made it up, and also...
link in the
Jessica,
description.
listen, if this is your way of pretending like you did work to prepare for the podcast,
No.
by just making shit up and hoping that I won't fact check it, and frankly, you could have got away with it if you hadn't done this. I wasn't fact checking it. I was very resolute about not doing any sort of fact checking at all. You insisted, and now here we are, staring down the reality of your bullshit. Jess, put the phone
I'm
down.
so upset. I'll
Put the
find it
goddamn phone
later.
down.
I don't know
You
what's
won't
going
find it later,
on.
and who
I was
cares?
convinced I'd find it. I do.
Well,
I'm very religious about my support of Californication, so.
So anyway, that was terrible. What else you got?
Where did that...
Jessica.
Yes, anyway, so if we had a loyal few listeners that wanted to give us any recs, that'd be cool. So anyway, there was one, and it was like, take a movie or a book that you have not consumed and guess the plot. So I thought that would be kind of fun.
Not bad. This is my water.
Please, you said we could circle back.
Fine, here.
Thank you, Jesus.
So do you need to take a title or a poster or what?
A poster?
Like for a movie?
I mean, it
a
just...
book cover?
Whatever.
Medium.
Whatever. I mean, it didn't really go... I'm sure it did go into it. I just read the bold headings, but...
Jesus Christ.
I'm
All right,
sure...
Stupid Garbage Podcast. Guess what this is about? It's a podcast about stupid garbage. Ding, ding, ding. What do they win, Jess?
A waste of time.
Well, that's true. They get it whether they want it or not.
There was one that said...
You're all winners.
There was one that said times of day,
us.
where it's like a morning pump up or like nighttime scary stories.
We already have something like that.
I know,
it's
we did
12:36,
pillow
dear
talk.
reader. No, we're doing time checks. That's what we do. That's our time of day check-in. We
No, like,
literally
it's-
check the time.
It's like, hey guys,
It's 12:36, just after midnight.
But I'm saying, like, if we did a podcast that we claim was recorded at like 8 in the morning, and we were like, this is your pump up, we're gonna get you ready, and
I see. You want to pretend like it's the morning right now. 9:15 a.m., dear reader. I gotcha.
9:15 is still too late for their
I'm
commute.
in on it. 7:35 a.m., dear
There you
reader.
go.
The sun is out. Birds in the air.
Birds are herping.
Dew on the grass. How am I doing?
Great.
They don't suspect a fucking thing.
You're whispering, which again is the antithesis of pump up, but whatever. You're doing a nighttime sleepy mix right now.
12:36 a.m., dear reader, just after midnight. How am I doing?
Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand
So
podcasting
I know.
or whatever this is.
So then there was another topic. Are you ready for this?
Probably not.
Interview taxi drivers. That was the whole fucking idea. They were like, tell your readers all the cool stories about stuff that they encounter while in the cab.
This is terrible for a number of reasons. One,
What the fuck?
you probably shouldn't be in a taxi during a social distancing
That's a good point.
One, two, most of that is bullshit anyway. Three, I'm not going to pay for a taxi ride just to talk to a goddamn cab driver. Four,
Oh, that's a good point. Would they be in the cab?
of course they'd be in the cab. Where else are you going to find a cab driver?
I don't know. A lot of people, like, again, the Conan who interviews people, he says, like, hello, friend, come to my show.
Yeah, Jessica, if we had the pull of Conan O'Brien, we'd have a lot of options.
Well, I know, but I'm sure...
We got Russell Crowe for 10 minutes, and you spooked him.
Another topic was inviting another podcaster onto your podcast. And
Again, we have no pull, we don't know anybody.
To be social, yeah.
And it's not a good time to be socializing.
Well, again, you can just do a fucking remote, like, we could do a Zoom... like, don't be a baby about this. But...
Fuck you, because I'm going to be the one who has to do all the work. And I'm not doing it.
Of course. Also,
okay,
Rob, we don't have any friends.
Be quiet. Let me clarify. You're right. But even if we had another podcaster, I would have to be the one to set all that up, and I'm not going to do it, so it's not happening.
Well, I want to do one with our friends that are in the town that we live in, so it wouldn't be a problem.
Another problem... Well, I mean, I guess you could just do an Uber driver, but an Uber driver is probably... I feel as though Uber, kind of in the same vein, I feel as though Uber... Am I boring you?
Don't call out every time I... Okay, so Robert does this thing... Right now, it's him making jokes in the middle of my yawn, but he used to do this thing where he would stick his fingers in my mouth every single time I'd yawn, and it got to the point...
Tell him about our sex life. It's not appropriate.
It got to the point where every single time I yawned when I was near him, and then sometimes when when he wasn't even in the house, it just like cock blocked me from yawning, and I couldn't do it, and like it gave me like there's a weird feeling in my throat now, like I don't feel good.
Jessica, you're boring yourself now?
Stop! I can't see, this is the problem, and now there's like, oh god, there's this feeling.
I'm gonna lie with you. I think whoever put you together was, I think they were pulling like a prank on their supervisor or something, and it got off the line without anyone noticing.
Yep.
Like you were never really supposed to go out to. Jessica, is this the best time to be eating this clackety candy? Okay, apparently it is because you're doing it anyway.
You're drinking clackety water.
No, it's just water.
It's ice water.
It's not. Does this sound clackety to you?
You're moving it up and down and not side to side, you fucking idiot.
Not a sound.
There you go.
So, anyway, silent is the grave. So, do you...
Sorry, I was imagining my glass grave from last time.
Oh, it's so stupid. You'd put yourself in an aquarium. We're not going back to this. This was... Oh, I can't
Maybe put like a
rehash
cool
this.
exotic spider in there so it can eat me for the rest of its days. Although then it couldn't be airtight.
This is absurd.
Anyway.
This is such preposterous... Oh, forget it. I'm not doing this
Give
again.
me a black widow.
So, as I was saying, I feel as though Ubers are underutilized, actually, because for, like, $3, get an Uber, go around the block, you can basically for a few dollars, you can pretty much summon someone to your location wherever you are, and that person, you could probably pay them very little to do almost anything. You're summoning a person who thought their best career path was to become an Uber driver.
Oh,
They're clearly not making sound,
so you're saying
financially secure decisions. They clearly do not have a lot of money or discernment in their lives.
So you can just manipulate an Uber driver to do anything.
Not manipulate. I mean, pay him to do something. It's called a job.
Well, I mean, if you pay someone to do something that is, weird or illegal or whatever.
I'm not saying it's illegal. I'm saying mow my lawn.
Well, yeah. I thought you were going to get weirder than that.
You can get as weird as you want. They'll probably have no scruples.
But that's still,
They have no dignity. They drive an Uber.
I guess it's not manipulation. But
Or
it's definitely...
if they drive a Lyft, they have no dignity and they're stupid.
What's wrong with Lyft?
Isn't Lyft the one that doesn't pay their drivers any tips? Or is that Uber?
I genuinely do not know anything about the...
All right, one of them...
online driving
Tell
industry.
you what, get an Uber, get a Lyft, throw $50 in the middle of them, tell them to fight to the death over it.
Here's the thing.
They probably will.
Here's a problem that I have with Uber. It is literally the most
Uber.
ridiculous invention. What?
Uber.
No. Like...
It's not really an invention. It's an
You're...
app.
They invented the app, though. The idea is an invention, kind of. So anyway, taxis, the only reason... And, I'm a little skeptical of taxi drivers, too, because I've had a lot of taxi drivers that cannot drive, and they freak me out.
Sure.
Or they're rude, or whatever, or they think that I'm whatever.
They're immigrants. Jessica
They think that
doesn't
I'm
like immigrants.
snobby, or whatever.
Well, that's surprisingly insightful.
Anyway, and I, when I babysat for a while before I got my license, they would pay for a taxi, a lot, and so I have I've had a decent amount of experience with cabs.
Why wouldn't your parents drop you off or something?
That's not their job.
It is their job. Your parents?
These people are paying me to do them a service.
No, your parents.
Yeah.
How old were you?
I don't know.
Like pre-high school?
No.
Okay, I've lost the thread of this story.
Probably 14 or 15, and then when I got my license, they were like,
Why
sweet.
wouldn't your parents take you?
Because my parents are cool with me walking, and so am I, and I'm like,
You didn't
whatever.
walk, you took a cab.
No, I know, but the babysitting people said we don't feel comfortable with you walking.
So have them drive you home. Get your parents to drive you
I
home.
think they would. They usually would drive me home, but then sometimes I genuinely do not.
What the fuck are you talking about? You took a cab?
You need to calm down.
Oh, no, this is weird.
I
man.
live in a rich town.
I know, and that's not what wealthy people do. They don't.
Okay, you're wrong.
They don't get a yellow taxi cab to take home a babysitter. That's fucking strange.
Taxi cab.
Okay, great. We're apparently pretending like we live in London. Cheerio, mate. We'll get on the tube. Theater of the mind, dear reader.
Can I help you with something? Why are you so aggressive about this? I don't remember why my parents did not drive me home. They were probably busy doing their own shit. It's not their... Anyway.
You have the floor.
I mean, I don't know. So I've taken a lot of taxis and they weird me out. But Uber is next level psychopathy. I don't like it. There's been a ton of sexual assault cases.
My bad. Oh, you mean
You're disgusting.
the drivers?
You're disgusting. People. Yes.
I'm trying to make jokes. I don't know what you're doing.
You're
here.
disgusting.
What are you doing? An expose on Uber? Why? What? Am I trying to make jokes to entertain the readers?
No, what?
What are you doing?
You're getting very touchy.
And then you touched me.
Again, if you're making jokes, just do whatever the fuck you want, but you can't get mad at me for not responding well to your jokes. You
talk about whatever you gotta talk about.
Do you not like my expose?
keep going on your expose. Talk about whatever you're going to talk about.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. The fact that strangers just show up and there's not really any qualifications whatsoever. You're just like, I want to be an Uber driver, and what? And there's no sense of boundary with Uber, too. Like, do you sit in the front? Do you sit in the back? I don't care. Some of them are really fucking talkative. Some of them are not. Like, I don't know. It wears me out. And again, there have been a lot of sexual assault cases, and that wears me out. And then, like, strangers know where you live, which is creepy. And also, like, I don't think they have the same trackability that taxi drivers do, because they're usually owned by, like, one taxi company who, like, I don't know. I think Uber, there's way more of a chance that someone will, like, stalk and rape you. But they know where you live. Like, why? I don't know. I don't think it would be a super good idea to let anyone know where I live, but that's that.
It's interesting to me that you put, at least to me, it sounded like you're putting on equal footing the problems of high sexual assault and talkative cab drivers and you not knowing where to sit. Those are the three big, equally important problems that we need to tackle with Uber and the etiquette therein.
Exactly.
Is not knowing where to sit, chatty drivers, and maybe getting raped.
Well, I'm saying it's not the fact that they're chatty, it's the fact that there's not really, like, it's like overly casual. Where it's like a taxi driver, I still consider a professional. I'm like, this is your career, this is your job, like, this is what you do. But Uber drivers, almost every single one is like, yeah, I just Uber on the side, whatever. And, like, they don't give a shit about their job.
What side? What else are you doing?
Aside from playing The Sims all day, clearly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, Jesus.
I mean, I don't know. I think, and, like, I spoke with one dude that I think was, like, retired or something. And he was like, yeah, this is just, like, my retirement gig because I can't fully retire, but whatever. And, like, I love being with people. I'm like, you're gross.
Driving to a lake.
Yeah, it just, ugh. So, yeah, the fact that there's kind of a weird, overly casual thing and, like, there's no accountability, and that weirds me out, and there's no stakes for them, so they can just do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. The sort of people who are Uber drivers, you know, are the sort of people who thought being an Uber driver would be a good idea.
Exactly,
so.
like, it's kind of it's like, it's just kind of lazy.
It's like the Groucho Marx quote I always go back to. I don't have a lot of friends, but the loyal ones I have like to touch my nipples. No, he said I wouldn't want to be a member of any club that would have me as a member.
Oh, that's cute. I like that.
Yeah, I figured you would. I'm named after him, at least in the middle part. So,
yeah.
What's my middle name, Jess?
Marx.
There you go. She sometimes forgets.
With, like, X.
With an X, like
don't
the
forget.
Brothers. You do, you have.
It's in the beginning of our relationship, or more so.
Yeah, like as recently as a year ago,
I know your sister's and your brother's middle names at this point.
Do you really?
I think so.
Alright, we'll circle back to that.
I almost 100% do, yes.
Alright.
I know all three of your...
What does Greg start with?
A.
What is...
C.
And, Rachel?
Oh, no, we're not doing
okay.
that.
Alright.
I can't go...
Oh.
Sorry.
Almost a eureka moment.
I keep thinking that her...
Jessica, when you have an epiphany, there has to be a thought behind it. You can't just have the feeling.
Well, I was going to say
like, something's happening. My brain is expanding.
Her last name, to me, sounds like a middle name, and her, like...
Hear that, Rachel? Get a real last name. You had a real last name, and then you fucked it all up, didn't you? Had to go and get married.
It doesn't read very official last name to me.
Wow.
So...
Wow. Keep going. Go in. And your cat is cross-eyed. It's true. He's a little bit cross-eyed. He's a sweet boy, though.
He's very fluffy.
He's very fluffy, and...
he has a very cool name. That name is better.
He's just not, you know... He's probably not going to get selected to the Air Force to be a fighter pilot, and that's okay. He's probably not very good at T-ball. None of these things are primary concerns in the life of a house cat. So,
anyway,
if you were reincarnated, because Rachel often says if reincarnation is how the way of the world goes, she would want to be a house cat.
What?
Like she would want to be a cosmopolitan
a
house cat.
Yeah.
What would you want to be reincarnated as, and what do you think you will be reincarnated as, based on the trajectory that you...
is what I would be reincarnated.
Is that both? No. Okay, raccoon is what you want. What do you think you've earned karmically? Do you understand?
No, I would earn karmically a raccoon.
Why?
Because they don't really live in nature. They live in, like, the bullshit cities. And they have to scavenge their whole lives.
Okay, how do you earn that? What tier is raccoon? Like an S tier,
Pretty
an A
low.
tier, a B tier? Okay, what tranche?
What?
What? Oh, okay, let's say their grades are from A to...
Is tranche a word?
No, I just stuck a bunch of letters together and spat. Of course it's a word.
Sometimes you take a word and then say it funny. Fuck you. Like, you could have been saying trench and then you went tranche. You do that shit sometimes.
You're a horse's ass. What? That's what you'd be reincarnated
You just did it with Uber. Uber.
Oh my God.
So fuck you.
Okay, your 4th grade vocabulary is not my fault.
Okay.
What if there are letter grades A to F?
I think S is pretty accurate. Oh, A to F? Okay,
For the love of Christ. S is top tier.
I don't know.
A to F.
I don't think
like,
A to F is enough of a scale.
Okay, 1 to 15. 1 being terrible,
Like
15 being the best.
11.
You think a raccoon is 11.
Yeah.
Past the midway point.
The high one is the best?
For the love of God.
If 1 is the best...
No! 1 is the worst. In any 1 to 10 scale ever, 1 is the worst.
Okay, so we're doing 15, you said?
Oh my God. What?
Like
you could do percentiles, you could do whatever the
4.
fuck you want. Okay, a 1 to 15, a raccoon is a 4.
Yeah.
You think you earned a 4?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
I have not actively hurt anyone.
That's true. Okay.
Except in middle school, when I was mean.
Well, okay, why do you think a raccoon is a 4?
Did I not list the ways?
Because the scavenging and the... Okay, fair enough.
I mean, they get to
fine.
chill in little families, which is cute. It's nice. But also, they fight with other animals.
Yeah, they're pretty small, I guess. Although, I don't know.
But they're like...
I would think like a worm would be like... I don't know. Okay, what do you want to be?
I mean, I don't really count insects because they don't really have...
Well, they're going to be counting you.
Brains.
When you're reborn as a cricket.
I mean, I don't know.
It'd be really hard to climb your way up.
Like, I see the dubia roaches that I have for peaches, and, like, they don't...
How are they doing?
Understand. Dude, I found like, the whole oatmeal base turned entirely to mold. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize that would happen, so it means that my system wasn't well ventilated, and now I'm worried that they're contaminated, and they're gonna kill peaches. So I put them in a new container with fresh oatmeal and fresh potatoes.
That's why you used my potato.
Yeah.
Got it.
But
so,
I put the
fine.
same little
it's
egg
fine.
thing in,
it's
so
fine.
I don't know if they're...
It's fine.
So anyway, but my point is that, like, when they're released into a pit with peaches, they don't really...
Welcome to the jungle, fuckers!
Yeah, like that in a pit.
It's basically their Vietnam.
But they don't...
None of those boys come home.
There's no... Oh... one of them came home last time. Well, it'll still be dead, but it came home.
Danny boy.
Anyway.
He's gonna go for a second tour.
Yeah.
The Viet Cong are gonna rip that fucker.
So...
He probably comes back like... He's probably like one of the old, grizzled Vietnam vets who's been there since like 66, and then all the green kids come in like 71. Is like, death?
Fuck you guys.
What do you boys know about death? That's this guy.
I like him. I wish I could have
things you wouldn't
marked
believe.
him. So I could know.
Attack ships.
There's also...
Off the shoulder of Orion.
Again, there are the bugs that have, like, matured. So I don't know if, like, they're
they
Gucci
become
to give
lieutenants,
to peaches.
and then a couple of them become majors, and they usually get off the front lines.
But I don't know if he would, like, attack or hurt peaches, like, you know. But anyway, my point...
You can try. It's vastly underestimating the resources of the Viet Cong.
My point is that they don't... There's no strategy, and there's not really even a reaction.
They just drop from the trees. You can't predict them, man.
No, not the Viet Cong. Is Peaches the Viet Cong?
Peaches is the Viet Cong.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like,
these
the
boys
U.S. soldiers
guerrilla
don't
warfare, baby.
do anything.
Exactly.
They just
you could say that again.
Anyway.
So
there's no... And, like, they don't understand the fact that they're in danger.
Tell me about it. They don't know what the fuck they're in for.
Yeah, that's true.
You seen those video reels, boys? They don't tell you shit.
I should research
you
more.
You think this is glory?
About the Vietnam War. Because you and my dad were telling me about, like, the underground tunnels and shit that they made. Just fucking bonkers. It's really cool.
A lot of that was during the World Wars. But anyway, Operation Frequent Wind was end phase of the end phase of the helicopter evacuation of Saigon. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's fascinating stuff.
We could do a war episode. I love it.
Boy.
I love it. We could also do an entire podcast dedicated to talking about battles and war.
Jessica,
and
the subject of this podcast is talking about
up.
whatever the fuck you want, and you can't even do prep for that. You talk about doing conceivably hours of reading a day.
That's true, and you already know a lot of it, so I would have to do a lot more
catch up.
Yeah.
So anyway,
but I could research it and be like, this is everything you guys need to know.
I'll tell you what, you do the research for the first 5 episodes, and then I'll believe that you're capable.
I'm telling you, I don't understand how this research is so open-ended that it stresses me out.
Okay, so that's not a great sign.
But if it's oh, Jess, today we're going to be doing the battle of this.
So you pick 5 topics, you do the research for those 5 episodes, and then I'll believe that you're actually doing it.
5. Okay, 5. Whatever. Wait, research for what?
Oh my god.
Topic finding?
So what would you want to be if you were reincarnated?
That's a good question. Does it have to be existent at the moment?
Boy, oh boy.
Because a dinosaur, no doubt.
Wow.
But if it's if I'm reincarnated and we're only going towards the future...
I guess that's a pretty deep philosophical question that I wasn't prepared to have to answer. The cycle of karmic reincarnation moves forward linearly in time.
Exactly.
I guess you can be a dinosaur, sure.
That, I definitely would not have earned it, but I would love to be a Spinosaurus.
Interesting.
Maybe?
Yeah, and you'd think that's a 15?
Yeah, I don't... Because again, the life of a free wild animal at the top of the food chain with no humans to tear down their resources and stuff or try to kill them, I think would be the ideal peak life. But to your sister's credit, being a really spoiled house cat that has all of their needs met without any effort at all.
Like a Gumby cat.
Yeah.
From the movie
Gross,
Cats.
don't. Did we tell you?
Played by Rebel Wilson. I'm sure
I think we did.
We did. Yes, please, let's not do this again. No more cats.
Anyway.
No more cats.
But also, I feel like there is a problem. Animals are supposed to be in the wild.
Yeah.
So when you take an animal...
Not a Exotic Joe.
Oh, Joe Exotic.
What did I say?
Exotic Joe.
Not according to Exotic Joe.
What? I read a little bit of a thing today that was talking about...
A little bit of a thing? A word?
I read a little bit of a blurb. But then I was
that doesn't tell me anything. It could be a fortune cookie.
It was an Instagram post. And
okay,
thank you. It was women's health or some shit.
Sure.
I don't know. It was health something women. And I was like, that's weird. Why?
That is weird.
Yeah. Yeah. It was weird. So no, it was health daily women or some shit. I don't know. Anyway, so...
Women on the daily.
It was saying
Health edition.
Real tiger keepers were talking about the animal abuse that they saw in Tiger King.
Sure.
And
rampant.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for asking. I feel as though I have achieved a perfect zero-sum karmic balance. So I think
Why would you think that? That's not right.
Thank you. Kind of to your...
Okay.
Why do you say that?
Keep going. Well, why would you say it?
Why would you say it?
You know for a fact that you're not equal to zero.
I killed 2 sex workers on a dark highway. That does not define me as a man.
Okay.
It was dark.
You do think
the first one spooked me. The second one was just adrenaline. I feel like I have... You know what? I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this again. I already had my day in court.
To have sex with dead people. So.
It was a mystery. I do not think it's okay. I think it's not rape. I think there's a different name for it. It's not good, but it is not... That's like saying, oh, having sex with a dead person is bad. Therefore, it's securities fraud. Therefore, it's shoplifting. No, those are different bad things.
I'm just saying...
It's not rape.
Why is raping...
We're not doing this again. We're not doing this again.
Well,
Enough.
I hate you.
You stop it right now.
Same thing as fucking a vegetable. Why is that not illegal? I don't get it.
Oh my god.
Why is a dead person
Jessica,
illegal?
go sit on an eggplant. I have something I want to talk about. Okay? Anyway, I feel as though I have achieved a zero-sum karmic balance, and kind of to your question about whether things have to progress linearly, I think I'm going to, until the end of time, be reincarnated as myself. Over and over again, living this whole life a la Bill Murray in Groundhog Day.
Okay. Does that seem like a good thing to you?
Nope.
Okay.
Particularly right now. It's very Sisyphusian. But what are you going to do? You know, that's life over and over and over again. Just
Forever.
drumming through the final bells of eternity. The infinity of the present.
What's your favorite?
But
Okay. It's gonna give you
could I pick what I get to be reincarnated as? And you picked a dinosaur. So I feel like I have a little bit of wiggle room. I was going to say something like a dragon, but I feel like I can go further off book.
I would argue you can't even go that off book, but whatever.
I'd argue you can go fuck yourself. I've had this conversation 1,000 times, and I know how it ends every single time. Guess what, Jess? You lose every time.
Lose what?
Oh my god.
Lose what?
This
conversation?
argument.
No.
What? How are you not keeping up? I shouldn't ask that because
What?
I've done this infinite times. So, it's turtles all the way down, readers.
Turtles.
So, yeah, thank you, sweetie. Thanks. So I
Tell
would
me
be
about the time in Mystic with the turtles.
in a minute. So
Okay.
in the Green Lantern comics, there's a character called Oa. I think just OA. He's a living planet.
Okay.
I'd like that a lot. I'd really love that. I'd love to be a living planet.
Why? So you can't move?
No, he can move.
Exist?
He can move. Well, maybe he has to be pulled, actually. Like, kind of like a tugboat
Jesus
scenario. The lanterns
Christ.
have to grab him. I don't remember.
Yeah, I would assume.
But it's
he's a planet.
well, listen, I don't remember the details. I just, the concept just
You're really obsessed with space.
enthralls me.
Like, you're just really into it.
To be a living planet. So, oh yeah, we went to Mystic Seaport, which is a terrible place, and
In Connecticut.
which is also a terrible place. It's like a Russian nesting doll of shit, and
I mean, it's not wrong.
so we went to Mystic Seaport, and we went to it's like a faux. It's like an artificial beach town. It's like the storefronts in the Truman Show. It's very bizarre. It's like all built around this little, very small, like a windmill and a town hall and a city center, and like a little pond, and all the storefronts are built around that. But all that stuff is fake. Like the windmill and the city hall, it's just there for show. So it's like, oh, these storefronts are situated around the middle of the town, and the town was built just so they would have something to put the storefronts in. It's like, what?
They do apparently have one of the best aquariums.
So they say.
Yeah, we have yet to go. I think it was like really expensive, so we decided to skip.
No, I think we've just been there for long enough. I don't remember. They also have, I think, a chowder festival.
Oh no, really?
That, don't they? Isn't that the place?
No, that was somewhere else.
Okay, never mind. So Mystic has nothing.
I want to argue it was the Poconos because literally everything that's ever been good has been there.
No,
because
we were going to go with.
Vermont.
I was going to go. You didn't want to go. I was going to go with your mother and your grandmother.
Oh, the one that you saw the flyer for in town.
Yep.
Oh, got it. I thought you meant the one that we actually went to.
No, that was the Garlic Festival where we went. We saw that it's not free admission. You have to pay like $20 a person just to go in and see the booths, and then presumably have to buy merchandise at the booth. Like you have to pay to go to have the privilege of buying, I guess, garlic themed tchotchkes. So we went up to, and it's like a 10-acre campground type setup. We went, heard the tickets were $20, and Jessica, so enraged, vomited on the spot, and then we got back in our car and left, and and got like ham at a diner or something.
I did, yeah. It was far enough.
She literally vomited in the parking lot.
I did.
I think her Jew instincts kicking in, not letting her. But correct me if I'm wrong. You did in fact hear that the tickets were $20, and then within 60 seconds were throwing up in the parking lot.
It's true.
Exactly. And so anyway, Mystic though, back to Mystic, terrible place. They have a lot of storefronts. One of the storefronts is a jewelry shop where you can get little, like $20 necklaces and bracelets, and what are those?
I think they were more expensive than that.
Some of them were pretty cheap.
Okay.
What are those little trinkets called that you put on a bracelet?
Charms,
but there's like a specific brand. Alex and Ani or something.
Yeah.
So you can get that crap. And so we were looking at them, and it's a pretty small store, and so we were just looking and looking. Oh, this one's a horse, this one's a... And so one of them I pointed to, and I said, hey, Jess, it's a turtle, because Jessica's favorite animal is a turtle. And so the girl who was working at the store, my memory is that she approached us, and she said, we'd already been in the store for like 10 minutes, and she said, what are you guys looking for? And I said, well, we just saw that there's a turtle charm. And she went, and then walked away.
She went, Or I was like, oh, do you have any turtles? And she was like, no, I don't think we have any turtles. Or something. And she was, yeah, turtles. And just walks away.
I was like, what the
It was
I'm sorry,
so condescending.
We're trying to buy... Your stupid store carries turtle charms.
Like, she was judging
Blow
me for
lady.
asking for turtles.
Yeah,
in a marine-themed store.
It's called... The entire, again, manufactured town is called Mystic Seaport. It's built around the concept of being marine-themed.
What a cunt.
It's right between the actual port, like the bay, and the aquarium. Yeah. That's the only other two things in all of Mystic, Connecticut.
Oh, isn't that where Mystic Pizza, the movie, was filmed as well?
Well, I think it was based there. I don't know if it was actually filmed there.
We went to the restaurant and they...
Yeah, I remember going, like, the actual one it was based on is, like, 20 minutes away in some other part of this.
Well, then they lied to my family.
But then there's a Mystic... Well, I think they built, after the fact, they built a Mystic Pizza.
Okay.
And it's apparently horrible. When I was with my dad...
Give a shit about pizza.
I think we were driving down from Boston to New York, and then by way of New York to Philly, we stopped in both Mystic to get pizza, and then the actual place, like, a half hour away. The actual place was quite good. Mystic Pizza was a hot circle of garbage.
I don't care.
I wouldn't wipe my ass with Mystic Pizza.
I have such low standards for my pizza eating.
Jessica, you would do one of your trademark rage vomits if you tasted this pizza,
I really miss?
Especially if you had high hopes.
You know what I really miss? I really miss Pizza Hut. Like, my family would go to Pizza Hut once a fucking week.
I have some pretty startlingly good news for you guys. They still have Pizza Hut.
I don't know what happened, but my family just, like, stopped going to it. And, that should be our next family dinner when things...
Can you give me an approximate era when your family stopped going? Was it around 10 years ago?
Why?
Just a hunch. That maybe I know the reason why your family stopped going to Pizza Hut.
I think it was before that.
We'll talk about it some other time.
Okay, but I'm pretty sure that's not why.
All right. We have secrets too, dear readers. Go fuck yourselves. I think we're about... It's 47 minutes.
Okay, but real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
For next time or whatever the fuck. Or just really quickly right now.
Sure.
I want to say that I have a topic that you cut me off of, but...
Oh, sorry.
What is your favorite depiction of the afterlife?
I think my echoing through eternity, living the same life a billion times was pretty spot on.
No. Like, something that you've seen, not something that you've created.
Yeah, Bill Murray was in a movie called... Alright, what do you mean by favorite? Like...
what gives you the most peace?
Oh, probably the South Park depiction of hell, or...
It's a pretty...
it's a pretty banging place. Or...
It's also not very intimidating.
I don't know, like the Greeks, the Elysian Fields were the most peace. Yeah, what about you? I'll think for a minute.
I don't know a lot about the Egyptian situation. Like, I know that they have, like, a very rigorous weighing process of whether or not you deserve to get into heaven, but I don't know what heaven is actually like there. But the death process in Egypt is interesting. But I would say the most peace, it's just because it reminded me of What Dreams May Come.
Terrible movie. Go ahead.
Stop it. With Robin Williams, it's one of my favorites. And I think, like, this guy basically, the spoiler alerts, but you should really watch it and pause this podcast right now, but
don't watch it.
But seriously, do it. This guy ends up dying, and then...
Yeah, Robin Williams.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, we all know the story, Jess.
I didn't know he had a real-life daughter. That
he does. Her name is Zelda.
She posted on Instagram about her dad, and I was like, oh, my heart. Anyway, so, his wife was a painter, and so his heaven was made of paint so that he could, like, feel close to her, and it was very cute. And then his next level of heaven was, like, the dream house that they were going to live in together and whatever. Like, it was fucking adorable. And that
My father's house, there are many mansions. I'd say I have two. One is probably...
Many mansions?
Yeah, it's a quote. It means rooms. I mean, it's a quote from the Bible. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
But, I'd say there are two. One of them is probably Valhalla, as depicted in...
Norse mythology.
Well, sure, but as depicted in my particular version I'm thinking of is as depicted in the child's cartoon, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. That's quite... Oh, or maybe some of the afterlives from... Since we're on the subject of Cartoon Network cartoons, Dragon Ball Z's afterlife always seemed very fun. You just try and catch Mr... No, not Mr. Popo. Well, you do have to catch... Well, that's something else. But you chase a monkey and then you get to hang out with King Kai. It all just seemed very peaceful.
Okay.
But very placid, but not so much the Valhalla thing. That was different. But there was, I remember I saw it when I was like 10, and, one of the protagonists of the show, Billy, is a 10-year-old boy, and so they basically catered Paradise to him, and as a 10-year-old boy, there was like a fountain of root beer, and, so anyway.
That does sound really nice.
Yeah, so, that, or I remember seeing a video wherein some guy, died and went to heaven, and then some girl started sucking his dick, and then the cameraman started fucking her in the butt. I guess you'd call it traditionally a porno.
Good God, Robert.
But the production quality was through the roof. I mean, it was really, really well done.
I'm just gonna...
There was a lot of butt fucking, which
right through that.
Yeah.
We also watched The Good Place, which I feel like is a really good example. Like, they have a...
Good Place example.
They have a system of, you basically just, you ask for something, like, you call a computer generator thing, and you just basically say, like, this is what I want, and you get it immediately, so...
Her name is Janet.
Yes.
It's a good show.
It is a very good show. Kirsten Bell?
No, you had it.
I don't know.
Kirsten's not a name.
Kirsten Dunst. Fucker. Kristen Bell.
Name one other person named Kirsten.
Kirstie Alley.
Kirstie Alley is not the same name.
It's very, very,
her
very
mother
close.
made a typo signing her birth certificate, and now her name is Kirsten.
So did Kirstie Alley.
I would wager Kirstie Alley's full name is not Kirstie.
I hope it is. It's Kirsterin.
Kirsteka.
Kirstica. Anyway, The Good Place is very good, and
oh, ha ha ha. Her name is Kirstie Louise Alley.
Suck a dick, Rob.
Well.
Look at me with my quick thinking.
Oh, she's not who I thought. She was born in Wichita, Kansas.
Isn't she like a chef or like a diet lady?
No, I think
she's probably like an actress that had a bunch of
looking at her, I think she's probably some sort of like wood troll.
Oh my God, that's not nice.
She first achieved recognition playing some character in Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
Okay, I think it was like she was an
actress. On Cheers. That's right, she was in Cheers.
Oh, okay.
She won an Emmy.
She was an actress, and then I'm pretty sure she had like this whole thing where she gained a bunch of weight really quickly.
Yeah, and then she was a spokesperson for
the diet thing. That's what it is.
Yeah.
My mom had a lot of opinions about it when I was a kid, so I would just...
Well, with Weight Watchers or...
something like that. No. Oh, it was...
She appeared on the reality show Kirstie Alley's Big Life. Dancing with the Stars. What is this?
She's been a lot of places.
She was Jenny Craig.
Jenny Craig.
Anyway, that's enough of that. This is really going off the rails, so... See you later, pod racers.
Bye!